Hello there, Moltrop, coming back at you, and this is game 2 of the MST, the MSL Survivor Tournament, and it's not Group D, I'm sorry, it's Group 4. They do the groups by numbers instead of letters. And a quick rundown, by the way, of the Survivor Tournament format, just in case those of you haven't seen this stuff before. Basically, there's groups of 4 players, okay? So in this case, it's Luxury, Tempest, Frozean here is playing for, well, he's not playing for Samsung Con, but he is on Team Samsung Con. And the other player is DarkElf, and there's DarkElf right there. And so those 4 players, basically the first 2 play, and then the second 2 play. And then the winners of each of those matches play each other in a winners match. It's called the winners match. Then the losers of the first 2 matches play each other in what's called the losers match. Okay, and then the winner of the losers match and the loser of the winners match play in what's called the final match. And the winner of the winners match and the winner of the final match advance on to the MSL. And so basically, what that comes down to, if that's too confusing, is CJ No Say. That's interesting. So we've got DarkElf is going to be in yellow here. He plays for CJ, and that means that Frozean's going to be in blue down at the 6 o'clock position. This is on Athena, which is a 3-player map. But going back real quick, so basically the point is it's double elimination. In order to get out of the tournament, you have to lose 2 games. And so if you lose the first game, you can still go and win the losers match, and then you still haven't lost 2 games. And then if you win the final match, then you still haven't lost 2 games. So it ends up being that the scores are someone with 2-0, someone with 2-1, and someone with 1-2, and then someone with 0-2. Those are what ends up happening in the tournament. And then you get seeded depending on if you advance. Then you get seeded depending on what your score was. So the 2-0 players are considered to be the upper echelon, and then the 2-1 players are seeded against them in the next tournament. So they'll take all the 2-0 players, and they'll be matched up against other 2-1 players from other groups. So I'm not sure if that exactly makes sense, but if not, I'll try to explain it more in a future video. Assuming that I can actually get this to work, my download is not currently working to download Game 3, so hopefully I'll be bringing the rest of the group to you today. But if the download for the VOD doesn't work, then, well, you know, there's nothing I can do about it, really. In any case, this is Game 2. Frozean versus DarkElf. Now, I'm definitely favoring Frozean in this matchup. Frozean he's an okay player. He's kind of someone that Samsung throws in when they can. They did not play him in the Pro League playoffs at all. In the Pro League final, they haven't played him much at all lately. So I'm going to kind of assume that he hasn't been playing that well in practice, maybe, and that's why they haven't been throwing him in. But on the other hand, they put him in their what's it called, the STX Masters Cup against against SKT1, and stop listening for about 20 seconds if you don't want that spoiled a little bit. But Frozean just went on a tear. He defeated 3 of SKT1's players in a row, finally losing to Best. So Frozean's playing decently well at this moment, at least. DarkElf, on the other hand, DarkElf, he just recently got put down to B team, supposedly. That's what I had heard, at least. Then, like, after he got put down to B team, I saw him in the starting lineup for a Pro League match, like, the next week. So I don't know if that's true or not, but supposedly got put on the B team. Regardless, they have not been putting him in Pro League very much. So he has obviously not been doing spectacularly. And just regardless of that, he hasn't been really accomplished in any of the individual leagues or anything like that. He used to be a pretty decent player. In fact, CG even threw him in as their ace a couple times, I think early last season. But he just, hasn't really been doing that well lately. So I think Frozean is probably going to take this. Frozean is spending 2 Marines, spending a lot of time tracking down that SCV, finally surrounds it. to get that last kill there. I don't think it saw that second factory, unless that factory was put down on its first pass, but I don't think it was. So DarkElf himself, though, has 2 factories as well. He's put down a second factory. He does not have a machine shop going yet. And oh, Frozean almost sneaks in a scout. Almost. I do not think that SCV was within range to see those factories there. Maybe. Oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say. I don't think so, though. I think they probably have a little bit smaller radius there. It's really tough to say, though. In any case, so both players going for these 2 factories. It's interesting that that DarkElf seems to be not putting a machine shop on there at all. I'm wondering what he's doing, because even if you go for a bunch of vultures, you usually want to upgrade, get some spider mines or get the speed upgrade or something like that. And that is exactly what Frozean is doing here. Frozean losing all his marines sort of carelessly, though, just running them out into the field. He looks like he's building up vultures here. DarkElf's going to try and break into his base. He does get in. One vulture gets sniped off. It was damaged from the marines. But the other vulture does get in. I don't think it's going to do any damage, but it's going to get a nice scout in. And again, see exactly what Frozean is doing here. Slightly unusual TVT. Usually the TVTs, you see more long-term builds being done, but both players going for these 2 factories. And an academy going down and an armory. Okay, so maybe what I think is, DarkElf might be suspecting a Wraith Rush or something like that, and so he's preparing for that, but I don't know why he's doing that. He didn't see any starports. The starports, if there was a Wraith Rush, the starports would have been down already, would have been being constructed already. He does have Goliaths out. Now, Goliaths are pretty good against vultures. They're more powerful than vultures, a little bit more cost-effective as well, so that might be what he's thinking of, is to try and just get Goliaths out, regardless of if they're wraiths or not. But the fact that he's getting Academy as well is makes it a little confusing. Well, you know what? Actually, the Academy, he could be getting Comsat for mines. That's a possibility as well. Since we have seen Frozean upgrading, he's upgraded his speed on his vultures. He's probably upgrading mines next. Maybe go for some kind of a little contain and then make it a longer game. Get his expansion up. There go the mines. Uh-oh, you need to watch out, buddy. Okay, nice, very nice micro by DarkElf. Using, that mine did not go off on the Goliath after all. I thought that one snuck through. Very nice micro. He must have hit hold position at the last moment there. Very, very good micro. Maneuvering his forces around just a little bit at a time, up and down, just to make sure that only one mine went off at a time. And that was beautifully, beautifully done. Keeping the vulture there as well to block and also to get an extra hit on those mines. And now some vultures sneaking in here. There is an SCV on the ramp. He's going to stop position that, but only just for a moment. Those vultures are going to sneak in. Goliath's chasing them, but only 2. It looks like he's not even going to come. He's not going to bring his forces back to counterattack. There's a huge line of mines. Oh my goodness! All these mines could destroy